All right, welcome back to Spitball in Sports. Hey, Scott.
Hey,
What's
John.
happening? Nothing. I'm going to start the show off with something. We didn't have a chance because we kind of got on later and stuff talking. I got to mention something that happened. And now it's for people that live in our area, Western New York, or that know, that maybe have listened to this show. And in the past, before you were my co-host, I had a different co-host, and it was called A Different Show. Well, it was John Fidel, and unfortunately, he passed away. On the weekend. Yeah. And the one thing that we are doing a sports show, and he loved this and he loves sports. He was a 43-year season ticket holder for the Buffalo Bills. He'd been there every game, except, and sadly at the Kansas City game, he was not doing well. So I just wanted to say and mention him because he was a former host and a really good guy. I've known him for a long time.
He used to comment on here and watch our show too.
He did. Yeah, he did. And big Bills fan though, man. Never missed him.
I'm friends with him on Facebook too. So he would always, if I posted something, he would always say something as well, comment on it.
Yeah, he had that end zone seat that I always used to. I'd say we can't even see nothing, but I don't care. The guys would jump in. Yeah, but cool. But I'm sad. I feel bad. He's only 63 years old, but
yeah,
he's doing better now than he was because of all the pain and cancer. Sad. All right. Let's get into before we get into last week and then all that stuff coming up. Coaches, I want to get your thoughts on Jim Harbaugh. Did it? I think we've been saying it. Everyone's kind of thought the Chargers, right? Maybe the Bears, but once Eberflus stayed. What do you think about him? And is he going to bring everyone back? Like Vic Fangio, I saw got fired.
Who knows, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That's. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
you never know. Bring the old crew back together.
You can. So how happy is Herbert? How happy do you think he is? He's got to be happy.
Saved his career. Are you kidding me?
I know.
His career was going down fast. Well, not really, because people still recognized his talent. I think he wasn't really taking the knocks because he was playing all right. It's his coach is terrible.
Yeah, and he's
horrible decisions all the time.
He's big. He can run. He's not bad. He's faster than you think when he takes off. I mean, they don't need to draft. By the way, if you're the Chargers, don't draft any more wide receivers. My God, I was looking at his mock draft. How many do you need?
I hate the fact that that Harbaugh's in the AFC. I hate that. Because you know why? Because he's good. He's going to make that team good really quick because that's how Harbaugh is.
Yeah, he's got that three to 5 years.
He'll probably win the Super Bowl before Buffalo will, knowing that shit. You know what I mean?
No, I know. He came awfully close to, obviously, with San Francisco.
I just remember how much of a lunatic he was.
Yeah. I wonder how he's going to be now.
I won't say lunatic, just weird, man. He's a weird dude, but he's good at football.
I wonder what he's going to do now, because coming from Michigan, I noticed he toned it back a lot because obviously he was with now. It seems like, I mean, everyone says he left because maybe because of the sanctions that are coming down against him in college football, but maybe I don't. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think he always wanted, but I've said this a million times. He is almost every year, he would go and interview. Every single year he was interviewing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It was his time, man. He won the national championship. Like, he did what he needed. He accomplished what he wanted to accomplish with Michigan. He didn't need to accomplish anything more there. So anything else was just,
And that's what we'll get into some of the other coaches, but this kind of gives us a good thing into Belichick, because I know we were talking about him off air, and it's like, I think Harbaugh might have threw a wrench in his plans, and then Atlanta wanted him. And Arthur Blank loves him. We're going to do everything. And what do you think, Scott? He gets nothing.
I mean, obviously something happened with the whole Arthur Blank thing, because I thought he was in Atlanta for good. I thought that was set. I mean, he was literally there the next day.
Yeah. Twice, two interviews.
I'm kind of surprised he didn't get that. But as far as any other teams, I mean, looking at new owners and things like that, if you look at how Bill Belichick ran the Patriots for the last 3 years, what has he done to inspire you to hire him?
Right.
You know what I mean? What did he do? He didn't do anything. He ruined a football team in 3 seasons. with the decisions he was making with like Matt Patricia and those guys and all the weird coaching moves he made.
Yeah. No coordinators. Yeah.
Shit. And he drafted, I guess, okay, but he completely just destroyed the morale of the team with the shit he had going on there.
I think, and I don't know how good this kid is. He probably isn't. Maybe he's just a backup. But I thought Mac Jones. I thought I felt bad for that guy. He didn't have a chance at all.
He never really got developed. He had a different offensive coordinator in his head every year. So, like, how is he going to get any better?
And Belichick's benching him during games, putting him back in there, doing all that stuff with zapping. It was bad. That one game, I couldn't believe what he, taking him out, putting him almost like on the floor. It was just stupid.
I think Belichick was just spoiled with Brady.
Yeah.
He had it too good with him, man, and he didn't realize. Obviously, they were both going to learn how much one needed the other when they left. And one was very glaring, very glaring.
And then, and one thing else about them, we'll get off him, about Atlanta, is I didn't think he was a good fit there at all. They have no quarterback. It's just a weird spot for him. I could not envision Atlanta. Now, Atlanta hired Raheem Morris as their head coach. So, and I forgot. I mean, I just envisioned a younger guy in Atlanta. I don't know, because you're going to bring in another new quarterback, I assume. And Belichick, oh my God. If it wasn't the Chargers, you said this a million times on here, it was probably going to be nobody.
Right.
Because
and Harbaugh took that away just like that.
What a perfect spot to go to.
Wow. I really wish Belichick would have went to San Diego, because I think he would have destroyed that team, to be honest with you. And then I don't have to worry about him.
Right. Yeah.
I just don't have a lot of faith in Belichick. He's great defensive mind, no doubt about it, but not an offensive mind.
No. We saw what he thinks of offense. He doesn't
every single guy. I don't know what it is about the magic between him and his coaches that once they leave, they suck.
Right. That's weird.
And they all come back. I mean, how many times has McDaniels ran away from Daddy and come back? I heard he was thinking about coming back with him in the NFL.
He will. I imagine. I mean, all right. So another Carolina hired Tampa Bay's offensive coordinator Dan Canales. That happened.
Yep. Good for him.
Tennessee hires Brian Callahan, Cincinnati offensive coordinator. And of course, Pierce stays in Las Vegas. So that leaves us with Washington and Seattle, who need a coach. Those two teams need coaches.
What's up with Vrabel?
Yeah, he's still out there. I haven't really.
Has he interviewed for either of those positions with those other teams?
Good question. I don't think so.
Why is everybody avoiding Washington?
I know, because they got new ownership and everything. You think
I know. What are they avoiding it or something?
Yeah, that's a good question. Because
I'm kind of surprised Belichick wasn't over there interviewing.
I bet you they're waiting for this to end, because I bet you they probably got that Ben Johnson in Detroit. I'm wondering if they're waiting for something, one of these teams to, for either them to get down.
He's the next one, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's going to. I think he'll end up in Washington. I see.
Anybody from Baltimore?
Oh yeah, who's Baltimore? Then, because I was looking at names, you got Dan Quinn. His name's out there all the time. I don't know why you'd want him, to be honest, because he failed. I think he failed.
Weren't they saying Dan Quinn to? Where were they saying Dan Quinn to?
Seattle, maybe.
Yeah. Seattle. That's what I was hearing. Yes, I heard that today.
Pete Carroll wants to coach again, I guess.
He didn't want to stop coaching.
Yeah. So
why did I hear somebody say he said something? Those people aren't football people or something like that.
Oh wow. I didn't hear that. Probably.
I don't know if I misheard that, or I heard somebody say it, but I don't know if it was a joke.
I mean, because Detroit's also got Aaron Glenn. He's another one, I guess, is up for some
job. Right. Like, I'm shocked. Yeah, see, it sucks. Some of these guys are getting passed over right now, but
Bobby Slovic, he got the defense coordinator from Houston. He got interviewed in one of maybe both places. And yeah, Mike McDonald, defense coordinator for Baltimore. He's somebody that I guess is possibly on the, on someone's radar. I think there's only two teams left. And then some coordinators I thought were just interesting. Ken Dorsey, ex-Bills offense coordinator. He interviews in Cleveland and Tampa. Brandon Staley, who we've talked about so much from the Chargers. He interviews with Green Bay and Miami for their defensive coordinator's job. Like I said, Fangio fired in Miami. What do you think about Dorsey? It's interesting, huh? He'd go to one of those teams. Tough place to go. I'll tell you right now, he's going to see how tough it is, because he's going to have, I don't know what the hell he'll have in Cleveland at quarterback, because who knows? And Tampa's Baker Mayfield, and I know he played well, but he's up and that's not exactly.
So,
He's always just a hit away.
I don't know how much. I don't know how much the Josh not running thing was Dorsey.
Yeah,
right.
It could have come higher, right?
So I don't know. I don't know if he was just doing it to appease someone else.
Right.
So because he was throwing the ball all over the place, he was still throwing the ball. It's just Josh not running in certain situations was screwing him up. So I don't know, man. Dorsey, I don't know how much he really cut his teeth in that position, but he'll get another opportunity. So I don't really have a lot of opinion on him because the time here in Buffalo wasn't that great.
And it was short, kind of. So
right. So he doesn't have a real big resume of that. So, and then again, I don't know, due to the situation of how they were trying to neuter Josh, I don't know how much of the emphasis was said to him. You know what I mean? To affect his game plan.
Yeah.
Each week.
And Brandon Staley will probably be successful. He feels like one of those guys that'll be a good coordinator.
Yeah.
Just got Green Bay or Miami, probably good spots for him to go, and both teams are going to spend, I'm sure, if they can. And Green Bay wasn't half bad. I mean, they certainly went further than anyone thought. At least I thought. I didn't think it would have won a playoff round. And Miami's always, how they are. They're always looking to do something, and they got to do something because they're, there was a disappointment this year.
What happened there?
What's
Miami?
That? No, just that they fired that Vic Fangio. So
did they fire him? Oh, I thought he quit.
Or maybe he quit. I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I thought it was.
I was just curious. I don't know. Yeah. I just wondered what happened. I mean, 1 year and gone. I got onto a new defensive coordinator. I thought he was supposed to be the shit.
That is interesting. I know. That's a really. I've yet to see what the problem was. I don't know. I still think he'll end up with. I think he'll end up in with the Chargers and Harbaugh. I got a feeling that because Fangio's old, but it doesn't seem like the game has passed him by.
Right.
Like, he seems like he's still in tune with everything. Whereas I thought, like, Leslie Frazier, I think the game passed him by a little bit.
Yeah,
there's some guys that,
man.
You know what I mean? That are just, and I think it could be Belichick too. I don't know. Because the way he coaches reminds me of how Ditka used to coach, where he hated his quarterbacks. He hated the offense. Could care less. Even though he's an offensive guy, he hated his quarterback, and all the time. And so he didn't give a shit about nothing. And that's what I felt like about Belichick. He just didn't care. And I'll tell you, I said this just a minute ago, and it makes me sick. Mac Jones was absolutely, positively. Like I said, would you even know, honestly, could you, Scott, maybe you could say that I'm not saying he's going to do anything, but could he be a starter in the league maybe,
With a good running game? Absolutely.
Yeah. Maybe he could manage
defense. Sure, he's not. I don't think he's that bad.
Brock Purdy
destroyed that kid.
Let's see. NFL wants Taylor Swift.
Destroyed him. All of them destroyed him.
NFL wants Taylor Swift in the Super Bowl, and we all know it. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll give her. If they win, they can hand her the trophy first, and they can just we're going to award the Lombardi Trophy.
That's not the conspiracy theory I've been hearing, but.
There's so many of them. I'm getting close to calling this wrestling.
Did you see the one I shared the other day?
No. What did you share?
At the bottom of the television screen?
No, what happened?
Where they were announcing, it was a little black box at the bottom of the screen with little information boxes that they have on the channel. And it said, the musical acts with Usher are going to be playing on February 11th at Super Bowl such and such between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. This was last week.
Wow.
The colors of the logo, the purple, red, and gold.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Shut up, brother. I'm telling you.
Then I'm done.
People will believe that it's fake.
I know, and I'll be look.
People believe it's scripted.
I know, and I'm going to say this, okay?
Wait, John, let's agree on one thing.
What's that?
A ref in a football game, one penalty could completely change a game.
I think you can
have that power. And we watch shitty calls all the time during big games.
We've seen games fixed. We've seen terrible refs that have run the tape. We've seen it all.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Just an example of what we're talking about right there. The Bills game. The Bills game, I believe it was the week before, where the Buffalo player got the fumble inbounds.
Right.
Laid on the ground. Shakir got the fumble. I believe it was Shakir, right? And they said he was out of bounds. Like,
yeah, no one could understand. Yeah.
It didn't make any sense, but that affected a game. It was a possession taken away, right? It's just,
because I agree. No,
talking about the refs because they do affect these football games way too much. They seem to stay out of that Bills game for the most part.
They affect, and every sport it's a problem with with this. I don't know, man. When it's
the NFL, dude, the money they make and they still have not gotten full-time referees. That's just unbelievable.
And the guys,
unbelievable. That's not even heard of. The other leagues, they have all full-time refs, correct?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I never hear of them having to work.
Yeah, they have to, right?
Yeah, and certainly baseball. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't know why everyone's so old. I can't believe there's not other refs that it could be.
I'm sorry. You demand a certain product on the field, but you're not willing to pay to ensure that it is as perfect as you can possibly make it.
It's foolish.
I don't get that.
I don't either. I don't know. I heard the thing about the logo. Hey, wait a minute. I think I got the logo. Let's look at it.
Yeah, you just put it up there, man.
There it is.
There's your winner. The winner's in purple.
I thought that was pink up there. Is that red? What is that? Yeah.
It looks more like a red. Hey, I'm calling it purple mixed with red will make it look a little orange, right?
Which kind of makes pink. So there you go. Yeah. No, you're right. Well, I hope, you know what? Can you admit? So you would think, in the conspiracy wise, it would be more. Who's doing it though? Like, who's behind the conspiracy? Like, who is it?
The referees would have to be referees in the NFL itself. But I don't know. You would think if they were really conspiring, they'd want Taylor Swift to be at the Super Bowl. Come on.
Sure.
Of all things, they'd want that. I think she might have thrown a wrench into the whole monkey works. Thrown a monkey wrench.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Their junk there. Yeah, we'll see what happens now. Now maybe I guess it's 50-50, right?
Yeah, right. It could be. Oh, wait a minute.
She's got a moneymaker for them. Jeez.
What are these colors again? Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe there's some silver. No, because I was going to think.
It's purple.
Yeah.
Gold trim and red.
Yeah. There it is. I really try to avoid these so much when I hear them and I see them and I know I don't know.
The one at the bottom of the television screen was the one that I was like, what?
I know. I didn't see that, but I
already planned, huh?
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into the games from last week while we're talking. For first one, I guess Houston just ran out of time. They had a great year though. There's nothing, I mean, they are good. They're on, as long as CJ Stroud doesn't like catch sophomore jinx or something, they should be good again,
John, they're going to have Stroud, right? Collins, Hank Dell for the next what? Stroud, they're not going to make his contract's not going to get any bigger. Those other two dudes are on rookie contracts.
Right.
They're offensively, they're good. If they keep rolling and continue their running, they're going to be a force to reckon with, man. That CJ Stroud's just a hell of a football player.
Yeah, and that division.
My second favorite quarterback after Josh. Really, I love watching him play. He's just so good.
Yeah, and that division could be theirs, right? Because I don't know what's going on in Jacksonville. Jacksonville is so disappointing this year. I thought it was going to be. I mean, maybe there was too much expectations, but I thought it was going to be better than that.
Expectations. I mean, when's he going to hit?
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
he's at that point now. He needs to start hitting. He's playing good.
Yeah,
he's got to play good when it counts, man. Well, he was hurt too, and that sucks. But,
right.
I mean, you got to figure it out.
Now, Green Bay in a rain game, it was raining pretty good over there. Then, San Francisco won 24-21. I know they were talking about Brock Purdy's small hands and it was wet out and all this stuff. But he did fine at the end. That was a good game. I mean, that was a fun one. I mean, in the rain, it was good.
For sure.
What would you think? Green Bay's probably very happy. I mean, they got a quarterback now that they didn't know they had.
That's absolutely correct.
So that's it. I mean, that was
every team. When you got your guy, you got a guy you can trust with the football and he can move it downfield and get you wins. Yeah, they got their guy, man. And I'm so glad that he played well to shut those people the fuck up.
Yeah.
I'm still hearing people trash that guy. He'd hardly played, and they just trashed him. And I'm like, dude, where you got a special camera feed to your house that we don't watch, that you watch him every day and watch him throw and practice. I was hearing people say he didn't know how to play football.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you people for real? I'm just really glad for that kid. I am.
Yeah. And Aaron Jones is good. That guy runs like he's angry at everybody. Holy cow.
I love his personality too. He's like the nicest guy.
He's like Pac-Man. He's just chewing up the grass. No matter, and you gotta love that. I mean, that guy, I hate them, but I'm now realizing that they may that Detroit Green Bay thing is gonna be really good for the next couple of years. Green
Bay's only gonna get better. I mean, Christian Watson didn't even play all year. And when he did, he hardly did anything. I think he had a couple touchdowns throughout the season, but other than that, throughout the playoffs, he didn't do nothing. Because I looked at his stats. I had him in fantasy football, but I had dropped him, and I was paying attention to him, so I was going to bet on him. I'm glad I did.
Right. Yeah. And they're happy. San Francisco, I mean, we'll get into the game. Tampa loses 23-31 to Detroit. What'd you think of that game? Any thought?
Detroit's really good.
Yeah, they're good. They are good.
Really, really good. Good for them, too.
Yeah, they're good.
There's a lot of good football teams, man.
Yeah, I think I can't. We'll break down the game with Detroit. And it's probably the line has me thinking one thing, but my head's telling me something else. All right, let's go to Buffalo, where the Chiefs win 27-24. We know the Bills were shot. With defensively, it was a problem. You had a lot of. You were right. AJ Klein, when you see that he is going to start the game and he's the middle line, he's the guy, it's not good.
No. How's he even going to compete?
I know. He did. And
he got attacked all day.
Yeah.
They were still able to keep it close, but I mean, Josh played like Josh plays. He played great. It's not his fault that an offensive lineman steps on his foot as he's in the middle of throwing a pass for a touchdown.
Here's one spot of the Bills that I thought was disappointing, and you could tell me, was their defensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Yep.
Yeah.
No pressure at all, nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. And don't draft. Oh, my God. I saw a mock draft that had them taking another
edge. I saw the same thing. Buffalo fans will lose their shit if they draft another defensive lineman.
Yeah, because they got to. I mean, that was the only thing. I thought they would blitz a little more. I don't know. It was a great game. As usual, when these two teams play, it's the same damn thing. It's always good. I think it'll always be good.
Yes. I just keep being on the losing end. So if he could just, I don't know, I'd say a high ankle sprain, but he seems to walk away from those.
You're going to have that Peyton Manning luck. When they finally got through and beat the Patriots.
I just went through that shit with Brady. Are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean?
No, I know. I understand. Please.
I just got to have a defense that can beat Andy Reid, man. His play calling is good.
Yeah, and you got to keep them guys healthy somehow, some way. Figure out what's going on, like you were saying.
They're going to address it. They need to address it. It keeps happening year in and year out, man. You're losing all your big talent in the middle of the season, and they're going down permanent, season-ending injuries.
Was it Well, we knew Milano. That was early on. But then who was his backup? Who was that? Who got hurt then?
Terrell Bernard got hurt.
Yeah, there you go. That guy wasn't. Yeah, that guy had his moments. He wasn't bad.
Oh, he was playing fantastic, man. He said he went out. So Brandon Beane said that he had went out, and doctor said, yeah, he ain't playing, and he didn't give a shit what the doctor said, and he worked all week.
Right.
And he said he went out on the field before the game and he tried as hard as he possibly could. And he said he could do a little bit, but he couldn't do enough. He said, I guess he started crying. He was upset, visibly, not bawling or anything, but he was very upset. Because he knew, right? He knew that we were going to get our ass kicked if he wasn't in there. And that's exactly what happened.
Any thoughts on... We were talking about the one play. Allen throws the ball down to Diggs. It was like a 60-yard throw in his arm. Shakir is good.
I love that guy. I was talking about him last year.
Right, I remember. And they found
they weren't giving him more playing time. I'm like, dude, he catches everything. He runs great routes. He's real scatty. He's good. he's twitchy, right? He gets away from people when he gets the ball. That kid's fantastic. I love watching him play, man. Yeah, I'm a big fan of him. Gabe's gone. He's going to be our slot guy now.
Yeah,
definitely, no doubt. Because he's here. I believe can't remember. I think he's maybe another year.
They didn't.
He just recently resigned, I believe.
Don't you feel like it's been, excuse me, very quiet, I think, here after that loss? Like in Buffalo, I feel like it's been kind of quiet, right? There hasn't been much. No one's really, I saw some interviews, but not.
Diggs, I guess. Diggs was I guess Diggs was one of the last people to leave the building, and he just didn't do any media at all.
That's probably good.
Yeah, definitely. I'm glad he doesn't. No, it's smart of him not, because he'd probably say something shitty.
Yes, he can't help it. Yeah.
He's going to feel like they're attacking him and blaming him, right? That's how I would feel if I was an athlete. And the fact that he's willing to just avoid it so that doesn't happen, he's probably more of a man for doing that.
Well, it's a good idea. It saves everybody. Then it saves his teammates from having to apologize, all that shit.
Hey, man, if he's one of the last people to leave and he's willing to stick around and talk to people, then good on him.
The one thing I will say, though, I don't know what's going on, but his production, just went down the last 8 weeks or so.
Every season for the past 3 years, the same thing has happened.
And he stays healthy.
He's just not there in the playoffs. He does nothing.
Strange.
I don't know what is going on.
Yeah.
Can't tell me defenses are figuring you out, dude. They'd have you figured out the beginning of the season by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They know who you are. There's something going on with you. And I don't know what it is.
It's too bad Gabe Davis was hurt, because that would have been interesting to have him on the field with the way Shakur's playing, the other guy, but unfortunate.
Gabe's great at blocking downfield. That's one thing he does great. That's for sure. But see, Gabe's numbers look good because his touchdowns come in bunches.
Oh, yeah.
He drops a lot of passes, dude. He runs wrong routes. He did it again this year. It cost an interception in the end zone. He ran the wrong way. You know what I mean? It's things like that. So
you know what it is?
I like the guy. Hopefully he can do something somewhere else, but his production is too scattered for me. He's not a guy you can depend on a weekly basis. If Diggs got hurt, you couldn't have him step in as a number one guy. He couldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, you watch him a lot more than me, because in my head, I'm still seeing that 4 touchdown production against Kansas City. That 1 year.
He spent a lot of time in Buffalo. I know that for a fact, and put a lot of work in. Man, he puts a lot of work in. But
I wonder whether that'll be interesting.
I don't know.
He can't be a number one, so I'm curious. It'll be interesting to see where he ends up. I'm just curious.
I don't know that he'll command a ton of money.
No. He's big. It's weird. You're right, though. I know he drops a lot of balls. I know what you mean. I've heard it about him. But it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. I wonder, but Buffalo, you were saying, probably can't do anything too big at wide receiver. Like Mike Evans.
We need to look at the draft. First round wide receiver. Yeah, I just don't see how with Diggs' contract, unless he restructures and Josh restructures, which I imagine they're probably gonna. They're gonna have to.
Jeez.
Buffalo's up against the cap, and they're going to lose. They're about to lose a lot of players. They've lost a lot of players, man.
Yeah.
Mike Hyde, Jordan Poyer.
True. They're going to,
Taylor Rapp, he's gone. So, they got to replace safety.
They're going to be drafting them.
They're a veteran in, and they're probably going to have to draft somebody.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Bean's got his hands full this season. I don't know. He doesn't have a lot to work with, I don't believe. So we'll see how creative he can make it.
Well,
he's pretty good. He's just not good with first-round draft picks. He's good with 5th and 7th round draft picks.
Yeah. Well, real quick before we get into breaking down the game stuff. Hey, Rob. Robin's here. Hi, Rob. She was sharing for us. So.
Hey, Robin.
Hey, everyone. It's Scott.
You know what? Why don't we get into the games? Because we got 2 of them, so we got time to look at them. I got the weather. We got the lines. We'll get to make sure the lines are right. We'll try to do something this week. Let's try to win, which would mean then this would work. Our little. All right, Scott. You know what? Let's start in Kansas City or in Baltimore, where I saw the rain is likely 45 degrees, 80% chance of rain for this game. What do you? I have the line at 4. What do you have it?
Oh, I got 3.5.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
Baltimore
3.5 and 44.5.
and 44. And I think it is going to rain. It's good. It's going to be a little bit messy.
Okay.
Boy, I think, let me see. Everyone's seen, Kansas City, I don't know if that the offensive lineman's out, but I don't know if he was Thuney or whatever his name is. He's out. I think Baltimore is relatively healthy, right? I didn't see him.
Oh, they're fine. They're totally healthy.
Oh,
Mark Andrews does come back this week.
He does. Yes, he's back. That's right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, to have him and that other guy
run 2 tight ends up.
Especially in messy weather.
This could be the end. This might be the end of the line
I think it is.
for the Chiefs. Maybe.
Yeah.
They did everything that. Think about it. I think they put it all out there. Let's put it that way. Last week, that might be it. Because that was the one. People, hey, you can't win. You can't win on the road. You can't win. Okay, they won on the road. He's in the AFC Championship again for the. They were showing the AFC. It was like Peyton Manning, some Brady here, Brady. There was who else? There was someone else thrown in the middle. Then he shows up with yes. Do you think it's a close game, guys, at all? Do you think you want to go with the line, the 3.5?
I love it.
You like it? Yeah, you get him.
I'll take Baltimore minus 3.5 all day long.
Oh, you like Baltimore? You like
Baltimore?
What do you think of it? I kind of do. I think it could get. I think it could get bad.
I think so too. I think that the 2 tight ends, like we talked about, I think Lamar Jackson's ability to run, I just think it's all built for this weather.
Look what Josh just did to Kansas City.
Right.
And it's going from A.J. Klein to Roquan Smith now. So it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, buddy.
The defenses are going to be a little tougher. It's going to be.
I wouldn't expect Kelsey to even catch a touchdown in this game.
They're going to have what Roquan.
You're going to need other people to step in because they're going to take Kelsey right out of the game, dude. Watch.
Yeah, and they hit hard.
Physical, dude, Baltimore's real physical when they play.
Yeah.
Watch. They remind me of the old Baltimore Ravens, man. They hit hard when they hit. That defense does. So I don't know what changed with that team, but that defense is like hitting hard, dude.
I think Roquan was when the Bears traded him, that was such a good deal for Baltimore because he's like he is the leader. He's the quieter Ray Lewis, you would say, or something. Playing not as good, but playing that role.
Right.
They're just I would find it hard to believe that Kansas City can win over there. I just can't see it. I can't see them winning that game. If they win that game, I'd be absolutely stunned. And what you guys
have to be with the help from some referees.
Because who
questionable calls and they win.
You know who disappears for the Chiefs sometimes, and he made a ton of money and he was sitting out is Jones.
Chris Jones.
Sometimes
he was going out of the game.
I know, and I saw it. He was sitting there, and then he was no better. At one point,
he wasn't in there. I'm like, man, that dude's like. I was wondering if he got hurt.
At one point, I didn't think he was. It was terrible. I don't know. I don't know if he'll do anything this week. I don't know if he has much help around him either. He probably could use somebody to free him up a little bit.
Dude, Buffalo was averaging like 7 yards a carry, 6-7 yards a carry.
Yeah,
ridiculous. That's why I was like, oh my God, we're going to completely destroy this team. They can't stop anything we're doing.
That's what it felt like. It really did in the first quarter.
We dominated them, and the first couple times we got the ball, dude, we completely dominated them. I was like, oh my God, it's finally going to fucking happen, baby.
Yeah, I know the feeling. Oh my God.
And then I was ready to throw my fucking boot through the front of the television set.
Do we have any feelings on the, I know, Scott, you're pretty decent with these. Over under in this game. What do you think? 44, does it go under just because it's rainy? Or do we?
Under, yeah.
And I don't know if Kansas City scores much. Maybe in my mind, it's, well, what if it's like 24-10 or something?
Baltimore's got the better kicker too.
Yeah, that's true. I think it could go under. I know you don't like to bet unders, Rodman.
I
myself am not going to bet that
over
or under because every time I do, I end up losing money. Like I'll tell everybody on here to bet it, and it would win.
Right.
If I put money on it, it'll fucking lose.
I'll tell you, I'm weird. I remember how many times I bet unders.
Yeah.
I think everyone mostly wants to bet an over because the over's a funner game. I guess I cheer for no points. I really suck. I really think about it. Right? I cheer for no points. That's how miserable I am when it comes to sports. I want no points instead of point. I don't even care because I'm like you with the Bills. I've been kind of beaten down. So although I will say this, today is the anniversary. Is today? No. What's the date today? Does anyone know? 26 or 26? It's the anniversary of the Bears Super Bowl win. January 26, 1986. Oh. Can you imagine that's 38 years ago? My God. 1986 is 38 years ago. How old? It's like another lifetime. The world wasn't even, think about it, Scott. The world wasn't even close. It wasn't even, it's two different worlds, not even the same.
Yeah, totally different worlds, dude. Yeah. I remember I watched it at my buddy's aunt's house over a couple blocks over right here at an apartment.
I wanted Miami so bad, and they choked in that AFC Championship game against New England. Oh, I wanted Miami. That would have been a good game, too. It would have been a much better Super Bowl for everyone to watch. But, nope.
Right.
They lost. Because I think what was 8-8. I think New England made it as a wild card, like 8-8 or something that year.
Yeah, no one was giving the Patriots a chance at all.
No, and that bum Tony Franklin, the kicker with no shoes on. Remember those guys that would kick with no shoes? What the hell was that?
What? In the middle of fucking winter.
Oh, weird. Yeah. We were weirdos back then. Just a bunch of, I don't know.
Dude, hey, do you remember the Grammatica brothers?
Yes, and that guy jumping around, blowing on his knee. Yeah.
There's still guys who walk on.
I will never forget.
Yeah. No,
I'll never forget him doing that.
Yeah.
And blowing out.
Isn't he? So ridiculous.
Oh, that was awesome.
Are there guys still kicking with no shoes?
No, but before games, the guys go out on the field with no shoes
on. That idiot J.J. McCarthy for Michigan, I don't know what he's doing. He was underneath the goalposts. He was basically naked. I don't know what was going on. I mean, he's doing things. I don't know. He might be a good quarterback in the NFL, though. It's going to be interesting because he's
sounds like he should be.
He might be. He's not. He's Harbaugh. It just relived. I don't know. The guy's another weirdo. But anyways, we all like Baltimore.
Yes.
We all like them to cover.
Yes.
Over under. None of us like to bet this, but I'm going to say under.
I'd lean under.
I see 24-10 in my head.
I go over.
I
think Baltimore is gonna, because of the sloppy weather, I think Baltimore's defense is gonna score some points.
Maybe they will. Good point. They could score. The Chiefs did impress. Don't get me wrong. I was impressed with them last. It's hard to come here and win. And I know the depleted team. I just think they're not as good as they used to be. You would agree too, Scott. And I think they really had to I think they put out a monumental effort last week to win that game.
Receivers caught balls they don't normally catch.
Yeah.
Like things just kind of broke their way. They were breaking Buffalo's way first. Then as soon as Kelsey started hitting, it was over.
And I do like Pacheco. You are right about how he runs. He's a good.
Dude, he runs like his feet are like knives, and he's stabbing the ground. He doesn't stop. I love that about that kid.
Yeah, he's so much better than Clyde Allaire, I think.
He did the same thing last year.
Same
thing last year. He did the same thing to us again. I wasn't surprised when I saw he was definitely playing. I'm like, uh-oh.
Chances are they're not. They're going to have a hard time. It's hard for me. I can't wait to see it because I want to see what if there is anything they can do to. I think, man, maybe I'm giving Baltimore too much credit.
I just think Baltimore's got the better wide receivers. They got the better defense.
Yeah, they really do.
If got the better coach, I don't know, man. Yeah, but they got better. Casey's got the better coach.
You would think, right?
I would say he's
Harbaugh.
John Harbaugh. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I like them though. We're gonna have to bet. God, if Kansas City wins, the only way I guess Lamar would have to lose it and throw like 3 or 4. There'd have to be turnovers. I'm guessing.
Right. Which he broke that streak.
Wow. These games are. We said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. These are big games for Lamar's own legacy. I think he needs to be. He needs this one. Get to the Super Bowl and go from there. All right, let's go to the Lions against the 49ers. That place is going to be beautiful. I wish I was going there. 72 degrees, and it said beautiful. Was actually what it said on the forecast. So that's nice.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel is in. Laporta's back.
That's big.
So you got those guys are back. And what line do you have, Scott? What do you got it at?
I have 7.5.
Jeez. What's the over-under you have?
51.5.
All right. Here's my fight. Here's my problem. In my own head. The line is 7.5. It feels like it's too high. But then I think San Francisco is better. And I think it's different getting out of that dome and playing outside. I also think Detroit has been served up some teams that, my goodness, I mean, Tampa. I mean, their road to this game hasn't been real, littered with, it's been easy to me. So, guys, I don't know. I don't like 7.5. 7.5 scares me.
Yeah,
What do
me too.
Yeah,
Me too, dude.
like I possibly do it to 6.5 if I buy it down.
I think I might buy it down if I was to bet it, just because I think 7.5 is too much. We're saying this now, and they're going to get blown out by like 30 points or something on Sunday.
Well, Goff is a good. I mean, what about Purdy? Purdy's got to get back to playing like he is. It kind of the last couple of weeks hasn't been.
Goff's got good weapons in Laporta and Amon St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibson. I mean, they got good talent, dude.
They do. They really do. I think
so. It's like, wow, that's a lot of points to give that team that's got that much talent on it, that many points.
San Francisco doesn't remind me of a place, now that I could be totally off. I've never been there. Maybe it's just the atmosphere. Like when I'm watching games from Chicago, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, I feel like I can feel the crowd, even at home. When I'm watching the game from San Francisco, it feels really
like nobody's there.
Yeah, and I know they're cheering and they'll show me the crowd, but I always feel like they're way far away. They're like, so it's
right. I know what you mean. Like instead of it being like this, it's more like this.
Yeah,
right?
And
like
I wonder. Yeah, and Goff has been there.
True, but I know I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, or something about that. I don't know. It's something about being on TV. It doesn't feel like it's been like that though since Candlestick. I even felt that way with the old 49ers. Do you guys? All right. I've been battling back and forth with this one. I think 7.5 is too much. Robin, what do you think?
Boy, it's a tough one for me. But if I'm definitely buying the points down. But if gun to my head had to go with the 7.5, I'd go with San Francisco.
You think they're going to cover that?
Yeah.
Gosh. I do think that I will say this. I think Detroit's a little bit like Cinderella, and this might be the end, I think, for them. And they've had a good run. I mean, don't get me, please. They haven't done this since 1993. So no matter what happens tomorrow, this has been success for them. Kind of like the Packers. Mm-hmm. I can't see them winning, though, Scott. Like, let's just say winning the game.
Right. I can't see them winning either, but I like the 7.5 points.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You'd almost want to.
Yeah. I'd actually take Detroit plus 7.5 because I think they're going to I think they'll be able to put points on the board. I think they got a lot of talent on that offense. I think Goff's still playing good. But I don't know how Purdy's going to play either.
I know. It's perfect conditions, so that's good for, I guess, the rain. I don't know. They were saying stuff. He never said.
What if Detroit's defense takes advantage and makes Purdy make some mistakes early on, which could happen?
It's all
pretty good.
They got to give the ball to McCaffrey and just then throw. Just keep giving it to him for a while. But they have so much over there. San Francisco, their defense. Let me say something about this, and this is from fantasy football. But we said this, Rob, me and you. That San Francisco defense is good, but it wasn't like Ravens good.
Yeah,
like I mean, to that level of. I don't think they are that like
interceptions.
Yeah, don't feel
like that.
Yeah,
I agree.
They're good. They're a champion. They can win, but I don't see it. That's why Detroit might be able to hang around a little bit. They still have Montgomery, right? He's not hurt. He's fine. Right. Could be a game for him in the grass.
Yeah.
I like big guy. I like Laporta being back a lot.
It's huge.
Yeah. I think San Francisco wins for sure. I'll be shocked if the Lions are in the Super Bowl next week.
Me too.
Yeah. Could you imagine that? You know what, though? It'd probably be more entertaining if it was like the Lions. Think about it. If the Lions are in there, it could be more of an entertaining game.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah, it could.
You know, Lions against any.
Oh yeah, because everything around it.
Yeah, I hate. Yeah, oh god. I mean, I hold a grudge bad against these NFC North teams, but I really like their coach.
Dan Campbell.
Yeah, I hate the fact that he's in Detroit. He should go somewhere. He needs to move out because he's good. He's what you want. He's what you want, and I want in Chicago. I want him. I want
that guy, man.
You want a guy like him. Yeah, the Bears got Eberflus. He looks like
he coached with the Bills for a little while.
Did he? I didn't even know that. He's like your uncle. He's like your just uncle. He goes to sleep on Thanksgiving. He just sits there. And then he
go get a beer, man.
Yeah. Or he got all these stupid things, these little quotes, these little things always saying. I don't know. There's like an acronym he was yelling, and no one's even paying attention. Like tackle, T, A, and he's like going like that. He was doing those with it, haiku or something. I don't know what it is. It's so bad. But it was haiku. That's what he did, and then he made their defense though. I just thought the top rushing defense in the league was So that's how he saved his job. So you guys think when we come back tomorrow, it'll be San Francisco, Baltimore, right?
Yep.
From next week, I mean.
Yep. I believe so.
And we do. You like the over? Would you bet the over in the Detroit game? Probably, right? You think
the over?
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of low.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be scoring. I'm going to say this now. If it is Baltimore, San Francisco, I think Baltimore's going to win the Super Bowl this year. I got a feeling that it's going to be.
It might be
because I don't think they're not playing one of the better Kansas City teams right now either. This is not one of their good. This is a
right. This is patchwork Kansas City kind of.
Yeah, and you know what else about Kansas City, and this goes to their general managers or whatever they're doing. You never replaced Hill. I just don't understand it. Why aren't you doing anything to bring guys in?
Better they would be.
I know they won't do it. Isn't that odd though? Think about it. They give Mahomes. If I'm Mahomes, I would say, "Can I have some Can I have somebody other than just
to see how far they can get, like they used to do it with Brady when they give him like Deion Branch and Troy Brown." Right?
Yeah, I don't think it's. Well, I mean, Rice wasn't bad. The kid that they drafted, he seemed all right.
Yeah, sure.
That nitwit Kadarius Toney, what's he going to do this week? Other than he might as well put on a Ravens jersey, just like wrestling. All of a sudden, and there he is, just jumping off sides. So I don't know, guys. But I can see. I do definitely. You think San Francisco for you would buy it down to 6.5.
I'd buy it down to 6.5.
I'm leaning towards the Scott thinking that I 7.5 might be better than the 6 than buying it down. I don't know. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I could. It might be a 3-point game. Is the thing, and it could come down to that. Is Detroit that good though, man? That's what I wonder. That. It's because really, is their defense that good? It's good, but it's all depends on that guy.
I don't think yet, but Purdy's young too.
That's true.
How hard is it going to be for him to get nailed a few times by Aiden Hutchinson, dude? Aiden Hutchinson's going to get him.
Yeah, he'll get him.
How do you know he doesn't get knocked out of the game?
He's relentless, and I will say you're right. He's been.
They got Anzalone. They got Anzalone there too, right? Isn't that their other guy? I mean, those guys are pretty good on defense, dude. They get in there. They get at it.
Yeah, and it's Campbell. And it's a great matchup. It's I mean, I'll tell you this. Other than having, and not because you're a Bills fan or anything else, I'm not. Buffalo Baltimore would have been a little more interesting if Buffalo got healthy and didn't have to go in there the same way they were against Kansas City because they'd got killed. They wouldn't have worked. But it feels like this Kansas City matchup with Baltimore. Last thing on it for me is the more I'm thinking about it, the more it's probably going to get ugly. It might not even be. Why do I envision it not being a good game at all? Like it could be a blowout. Yeah, it could be because it was a blowout in the beginning of that Bills game, and then it just kind of fizzled there. But I don't know, man. And they're not going to win 2 in a row on the road. I can't believe it.
Me neither.
No. All right, guys. We could probably wrap it up here because we all know we know at the end of the day it's going to be Baltimore, San Francisco in our minds. We want Detroit. Take the NFC North out of it. Detroit would be great. Detroit's a lot of fun.
I can't take the NFC.
I know you can.
You're a fun team to watch.
I can't either, but I'm going to try.
I can't.
I know. I'm going to try. Does anyone want Kansas City in the Super Bowl here out of the three of us? I really don't. I don't want to see them
Anybody
there.
wants to be the Super Bowl,
I don't want them there.
other than
at
the NFL.
Yeah. But Baltimore, that narrative though of Lamar can become, he will, if he does what he does here, if he think about what you're going to hear about him. Oh my. He'll be a real big, they've been dying. They've been please they wanted him to be, a performer in these situations. But you're right though. I do like the thought you were saying about Goff. I think that's smart. He's been there. He went to a Super Bowl, didn't he?
Yeah.
So he's that environment won't scare him in the least. Being in San Francisco.
Right.
That's gonna be a good game. All right, Scott. I'll cut you loose here on Friday night. What are you up to? Anything's gonna watch the games this weekend?
My wife and kid are. This weekend. Yeah, watch games. I got some shit to do probably over the weekend. I got to get out of the house, man. I've been in the house because of the weather. It sucked.
Yeah.
This morning, Jesus Christ, I felt like Noah.
Yeah, I know. No, it was bad.
Dude, I was up at like 5:30, and it was. I hadn't heard it rain like that in a while. It was downpouring, dude. By the time I got out of the shower to let the dogs out, because I was like, they're probably not going to go because it's pouring.
Pouring, yeah.
Dude, the bottom of my deck, where my stairs are, the water was this high. My dog was like, man, you can go. And I said, I don't expect you to. You're going to have to wait a minute, buddy.
Well, I know, like, it's supposed to. They're talking about I saw snow for Sunday or something, but not a lot. I don't think 1 to 3 inches or something. But I think it's going to be in the up. It's still going to be like 34. We're in Western New York, so for those. All right, Scott. We'll cut you loose. I will see you next week then. Take it easy, buddy.
All right, man.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Good night.